Glad y'all are here. I'm Palak Koradia, medical nutritionist and co-founder of Health Hatch, and today we'll be talking about a very important topic which millions of women suffer from and which is misunderstood. In fact, it is confused. Okay, and the topic's name is hormonal imbalance and PCOS. Okay, I know, y'all have heard these terms, at doctor's clinic, in Instagram, even on Google 2 a.m. when y'all search what is hormonal imbalance, what is PCOS, and when your hormones are all over the place, right? So next 25 minutes I will only be talking about this. Okay, I will help you understand your body more deeply, right? And we will understand the difference between PCOS and hormonal imbalance. Okay, we will also understand the 4 types of PCOS. Okay, the treatment that matches the type of PCOS, diet, lifestyle change that we need to do, right? The blood test. Okay, in fact, the blood test, I have the entire panel. So basically, various blood tests that you need to do, depending on the various signs and symptoms you're experiencing. What I'll do is, after this live session, I'll be putting it on story. Okay, so that you know what blood test do you have to do based on the symptoms you experience. So it'll be available for you for 24 hours. So you can you can see that, you can share it with somebody who's experiencing such symptoms, right? So blood test, I'll make sure I'll put it across on story, right? And I'll be answering some of the questions that y'all had asked on story. Okay, we have helped client, okay, reduced the cyst in their ovaries, normalize their prolactin levels, okay, work on their chin, facial hair, okay, regularize their periods, okay, also in turn basically changing their weights as well. Okay, so all of this was just possible through simple lifestyle changes, something which we feel is impossible. Okay, after trying everything, is possible. Okay, only if we understand how we should do it, right? So I'll be working on, or I'll be covering all of these topics that I mentioned, right? So first we need to understand what exactly is hormonal imbalance, right? So hormonal imbalance is like a complex orchestra, right, where various instruments are playing its own music, and in combination, in sync, the music is so amazing, right? We love it. Okay, and when it's like our hormones, when our hormones in sync, when they're working properly, it feels amazing. Your period cycle is in place, your mood is very good, your energy levels are very good, right? And what happens, all of a sudden, one of the instrument, it goes off key, okay, and it doesn't work properly. Okay, so that's when your entire orchestra that you're listening to, it becomes chaotic. Okay, and that goes the same with hormones. Okay, when your one hormone doesn't function properly, and your entire system basically goes upside down. Okay, now something which I want women over here basically to deeply understand is, see, I understand how it feels to look yourself in the mirror, okay, each day, and to look at that chin hair, okay, to look at the acne, okay, and see it not going off, in spite of you trying so hard, working on your diet, working on exercising, working on your lifestyle, right? Your weight not budging. Okay, every time you stand up on the weighing scale. Okay, I understand what you might be feeling. I know you're not lazy, right? I know you're working on yourself every single day. I know you're not weak. It's just that the hormones are out of balance, and we need to get them rebalanced. Okay, I am sure you can do it, right? We have seen clients who had hormones not functioning properly, and just by working on the root cause of their type of problem, or on the root cause of their type of PCOS, right, and everything falling in place, right? So we have had a client who had irregular periods and had facial hair for 7 years. She tried everything and nothing worked, just nothing worked. And then when she came to us, obviously she had lost hope. Okay, but then yes, she wanted to do something. Okay, so after working on herself, on her cycle, working on the root cause of her problem, gradually, she found that clear skin. Gradually, the facial hair, the chin hair, okay, it stopped appearing. Okay, her period cycle, she got her period cycle, and then the next period cycle was right in place. Okay, so if she can do it, I'm sure even you can do, right? You just need to work on your root cause. You just need to understand your root cause, right? Okay, so this is all about hormonal imbalance. Now what I'll be explaining you is the difference between PCOS and hormonal imbalance, right? I mean, there's so much confusion between these two terms, and we often use it as or PCOS or hormonal imbalance without even understanding as to whether can we use it or are these two different terms, right? So I'm going to explain you that now. Okay, a very simple way of explaining here would be like you have an umbrella, right? So your hormonal imbalance is like an umbrella, okay? And that one particular, string in that umbrella is your PCOS, okay? So basically your PCOS contains hormonal imbalance. So if you have PCOS, it means you have hormonal imbalance, correct? But as I told you, hormonal imbalance is an umbrella. So hormonal imbalance, if you have, doesn't mean you have PCOS. Okay, for that you need to check. Okay, you need to do blood test. Okay, which I told I'll be mentioning it on story at the end of the live session, correct? And which you can check, correct? Yeah. So now, how do we know whether we have PCOS, right? It's important even to understand that. So there's something called as Rotterdam's criteria, okay, wherein if you have 2 or 3 classic features of PCOS, it means you have PCOS, okay? For example, irregular periods, okay? Number 2, facial hair, chin hair, acne, hair fall, okay? Number 3, you have cyst in the ovaries, okay, which you get to know, by doing ultrasound, okay? So if you have any 2 of these, okay, it means you have PCOS, correct? Or if you have 3 of these, it means you have PCOS, correct? Okay, so you need to do proper diagnosis, okay, for yourself to understand whether you have PCOS or not, correct? Okay, now the next topic which we'll be covering is the 4 types of PCOS, okay? Now this part is something which most of the doctors, they never tell you, correct? So I thought it is very important for y'all to understand the type of PCOS y'all are suffering from, so that y'all can decide, okay, or so that y'all can work on the line of treatment accordingly, okay? One line of treatment will not help one type of PCOS, correct? So depending on your type of PCOS, you have to make sure you're working on that particular line of treatment, okay? Yeah, so first type of PCOS is insulin resistant PCOS. What does that mean? Your body is producing insulin. In fact, your body is producing a lot of insulin, okay, but it is not able to function properly, okay? And what are the classic symptoms of insulin resistance? I'm sure you all might have seen a lot of reels, okay, where there are dark patches on your neck, on your armpits, or acanthosis nigricans, skin tags, okay, sugar cravings, energy crashing post meal, okay? All of these are classic symptoms of insulin resistant type of PCOS, correct? So this is the first type of PCOS. Now we move on to the second type of PCOS, okay? Now second type of PCOS is called as inflammatory PCOS. Now as the name suggests, okay, it is inflammatory, so it has inflammation, okay? Chronic low grade type of inflammation. Now what does inflammation mean? It means you have some kind of ache, pain in the body. Either you have joint pain, you have headache, you have chronic fatigue, very low energy levels, okay? There are a lot of gut issues, bloating and all of that one suffers from. The skin conditions, eczema, okay? Also, if you check your HSCRP levels, it is on a higher side, okay? So if you have any kind of ache, pain, gut issues, by default you have to do your HSCRP levels, okay? And it will be on a higher side most of the times, okay? So then you need to work on the inflammation part. So your weight may not be an issue, okay? So somebody having inflammatory type of PCOS may not have high body weight, okay? So then you don't need to get confused, oh, my weight is on a lower side, so I don't have PCOS. No, Okay, so your weight is type 2 inflammatory PCOS. Weight is not an issue. Inflammation, okay, ache, pain, gut issues. Okay, so those are the classic signs, correct? Okay, now the third type of PCOS. Okay, the third type of PCOS is basically genetic type of PCOS. So here, as the name suggests, that anybody in your family having PCOS, hormonal disorders, okay, or type 2 diabetes, you have higher chances of getting PCOS. So your, the variant in your genes basically, okay, it basically interferes with the insulin signaling. It interferes with, with androgen synthesis, with the follicle development, okay, because it's interfering with all of this. So ultimately what you get is PCOS, irregular periods, facial hair, chin hair, all of that, correct? Okay, so this is the third type of PCOS, and now we move on to the fourth and the last type of PCOS, which is adrenal PCOS. Now this adrenal PCOS, the type also is called as stress driven. Okay, so as the name suggests, it is because of stress, chronic stress. Okay, so your adrenal means your adrenal gland is producing more androgens, testosterone, okay, in response to high stress. So in such type of, okay, women having adrenal type of PCOS, generally DHEAS is on a higher side. Okay, so if somebody is saying chronic stress and all, something what you have to do is DHEAS. Chronic stress, chin hair, facial hair, okay, acne, hair fall, go for DHEAS by default, correct? Okay, here the period cycle may be normal. Okay, so you feel your period cycle is normal, I don't have PCOS. No, if you have chin hair, facial hair, hair fall, stress levels on a higher side, by default check DHEAS. Okay, which is the adrenal type of DHEAS. Now here the switch is when the stress is on a higher side, period goes. Okay, you don't get periods. Okay, when the stress is fine, you get your periods. Okay, in this type of PCOS, the adrenal type of PCOS. Okay, so take that also into consideration, that since it is stress type of PCOS, you have to work on stress. Okay, and you will find your cycle also falling in place, you find your DHEAS also falling in place, correct? So now what I'll be helping you is okay, I'll be helping you, as I mentioned at the end of the live session, I'll be helping you with the blood report. Okay, who should do what blood reports, right, depending on the symptoms. Okay, y'all can check, y'all can do those blood reports, y'all can share it with somebody, okay, whom you feel has those symptoms. Okay, now at Health Hatch, first when the client come to us, we always ask them symptoms, we ask them to do hormone panels, we ask them to do few blood tests, we also ask them to do ultrasound, okay, for us to understand what is the problem, okay, which hormone is basically out of place, and how we can work towards rebalancing it. Okay, so that's our first line of action before even we start with a diet plan or before we start with a diet program. So if you want to start by yourself, working on yourself, and if you feel you have PCOS, first very important thing is get your blood test done, okay, ultrasound done, okay, then understand which hormone is on a higher side, which hormone you need to work on, okay, and then work towards the line of treatment for the same, correct? Okay, now I'll be answering the questions that y'all have asked, correct? Okay, so the very first one is can low AMH also be PCOD? Okay, so AMH is also called as anti-Müllerian hormone. Okay, it's one of the marker of PCOS. Okay, but the thing is, okay, women with PCOS have small antral follicles, many small antral follicles, and these small antral follicles, they keep releasing AMH. Okay, so women with PCOS have high AMH. Okay, but the catch is, if you have low AMH, doesn't mean you don't have PCOD or PCOS. Okay, if you have low AMH but also have irregular periods and also have chin hair, facial hair, okay, then you have PCOS, then you meet the PCOS criteria. Okay, and obviously you have to undergo blood test as well along with it. Okay, so having said this, okay, your AMH, it doesn't indicate or doesn't give you a signal for PCOS. AMH is not related to PCOS. AMH is related to your egg availability or egg reserve. Okay, AMH doesn't basically talk more about PCOS. As I told you, the Rotterdam criteria is something which basically tells you whether you have PCOS, okay, and along with that you also need to do the blood test panel. Correct? Yes. Okay. Also, if your AMH is on a lower side, what you can do is, okay, diet, lifestyle change, stress, sleep, okay, work on stress, sleep. Along with that, vitamin D supplement, coenzyme Q supplement, okay, Q10 supplement also helps in improving your AMH levels. We have had clients with low AMH, okay, with diet and lifestyle change, with supplements, we have helped them improve their AMH levels, okay, and they have been able to conceive naturally, okay. So you don't need to worry, okay, you work on yourself and I'm sure you can, okay, you will be able to conceive naturally, correct? Yeah. Now, the second question which was asked is, okay, how to cure excessive hair fall in PCOD? Okay, I understand, you know, how it feels like, you know, when you have your hair just falling, you know, when you take shower, okay, or, you know, when you find your hair, you know, in the pillow, right, on your hairbrush, okay, it is, I know it is extremely stressful, correct? But you need to understand that all of this, okay, is because of your androgens. It's because of testosterone, DHT, right, which is shrinking your hair follicle, right, and that's the reason why it's falling, right, and this is reversible. Okay, by the way, this is reversible. Okay, you need to work on what is causing this issue. You need to work on your root cause, right? Okay, and you will find all of this in place, correct? So what you need to do is, for hair fall, check your iron levels, okay, check whether you're eating enough protein or not. So 1 gram per kg body weight, okay, whether, in fact, you know, simple thing what you can check is whether you're eating protein in all your meals. Okay, so that is also one of the way of checking whether you're eating enough protein, and 1 gram per kg body weight is a requirement. Okay, then including zinc containing foods, okay, pumpkin seeds, okay, sesame seeds, chickpeas, spearmint tea twice in a day for reducing your testosterone. Okay, rosemary oil also helps, you know, with the one rosemary oil when you apply, you know, on your scalp, the area where you have, you know, scanty hair, it also helps, okay, in you know, your hair growth, correct? So yeah, all of this you must do if you have hair fall. But along with that, very important thing, see, I have had clients who do all of this, but then they don't address their root cause, which is sleep and stress. So how much ever hard you try working on your diet, taking supplements, biotin, whatnot, iron, but if you're not working on your sleep, nothing is going to work. Okay, so you need to work on sleep and stress at the same time. Okay, the third last question is, okay, how to work on scanty periods. Okay, now scanty periods is something which is not normal, so you have to tell yourself, right, when you get scanty periods, okay, when your period cycle is less than 2 days, it's not normal. Okay, there's something wrong. Okay, your body is giving you signal. Okay, so you need to ask yourself, you need to address this problem. Okay, okay, here it is basically, you know, when you have PCOS and when, you know, your period cycle, you know, when you have less period flow, it generally means you're not ovulating enough, or, you know, your progesterone is on a lower side. Okay, so why does this happen most commonly? Okay, so most commonly I've seen clients having scanty periods, okay, wherein I see that, one, either they restrict themselves too much. Because I have PCOS, I want to lose weight, doctor has asked me to lose weight, so I have cut down calories, I've gone on 800 calories, I've gone on 1000 calories. So when you over restrict yourself, your body doesn't get enough nutrition. That's very important thing. Plus, over restricting yourself, your body is under stress, so as such you will not lose weight. Okay, or as such you will not lose fat. When your body is under so much of stress, your body is going in survival mode. Okay, so, you know, suffering extreme cases, or probably just restricting yourself, is not going to help you here. Okay, it's very important that, you know, your periods, it consists of your uterine lining. Your lining is made up of healthy fats, it's made up of proteins. So you need to make sure, okay, that you're eating enough protein, you're eating healthy fats, okay, ghee, your nuts, your type of seeds, sesame seeds, okay, pumpkin seeds, okay, then nuts, almond, walnuts. So you're eating healthy fats because your lining is made up of it, okay. And if you don't eat, okay, you're restricting too much, okay, you will not get, sufficient flow in your period cycle. Okay, so that is something which is very important to understand. Okay, also something which I commonly find, women with PCOS doing is, because I have PCOS, I need to reduce weight, so I'm exercising. You are exercising. Okay, I've seen women exercising for 2 hours, okay, and 6 days in a week. So you're over exercising, correct? So when you're over exercising, you're increasing your body cortisol level, you're suppressing your FSH and LH. How are you going to ovulate? Correct? So it's very important to have a balance, right? Where you're eating right, you're eating adequate, you're exercising also, adequately, or probably, enough. Okay, you are also making sure that you're doing yoga, meditation to relax yourself, correct? Okay, so all of this will help you, improve your period flow. So to summarize it, if you're experiencing scanty periods, very first thing what you need to do is work on increasing proteins. Second thing, make sure you're increasing enough calories, otherwise you're not going to get enough flow. Okay, healthy fats. Okay, and stop over exercising. It's not going to help you lose fat. Okay, you're going to lose fat and muscle both, in fact. Okay, so right exercising is important. Also calm your body, relax your body. Yoga, meditation also helps here. Okay, so all of this together is something which you need to do, okay, if you are experiencing scanty periods, correct? Okay, and lastly, to end this session, I would say thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for hearing out, right? I know what you are actually suffering from. Okay, I know your hormones are not supporting you, but don't worry. Okay, they are basically giving you some kind of signal, some kind of message that your body is not in place, your entire system is not in place. Please do something about it. Please work on it. Okay, and work on it. This is a line of treatment has to be in line with which hormone is not functioning properly. Okay, so make sure you work accordingly. So treatment should match the type of PCOS, correct? So this is the message that your body is giving you. Please don't make your hormones your enemy. Okay, they are just a signal. Understand, work on yourself, don't punish yourself. Okay, we have helped clients, normalize their prolactin levels, regularize their period cycle, first reduce and then completely eliminate the chin, facial hair, acne. And this is not magic, trust me. Okay, it's very simple. You just have to work on your root cause, understand where the problem is. Okay, first understand which hormone is not in place, then understand why it is not in place. So that you can work towards a line of treatment for the same. It's very, very simple. Correct? Okay. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Okay. If you want to start working on yourself, okay, if you have done everything and not getting results, you want to work on yourself, right? Please DM me PCOS. Okay, and we're right there. We're there to help you out. Okay, let's have a conversation on it, right? Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, for spending time with me, understanding about PCOS, understanding hormonal imbalance. And you coming here, okay, listening the live session is your first step that you want to work on yourself. Okay, now the second step is you have to initiate. Okay, you have to take care of your body, correct? Because that's the place where you live. Okay, that's the place that you live in, right? Thank you so much. See you all soon. Bye, take care. And yeah, so whatever questions you all have mentioned in the session, I'll be answering in the comment section, right? Don't worry, I'll be helping you with all your answers, correct? And please make sure to check story, because I'll be mentioning various hormones, okay, and I'll be mentioning the various hormone test that you need to do and the symptoms that you're experiencing. So as per the symptoms you are experiencing, you can check which test you need to do, correct? Thank you so much. Thank you.